So let's talk about matrix powers, or raising a matrix to a power. So first thing to note, only square matrices can be raised to a power. So only matrices that are squares can be raised to a power. Now, as you know, a to the 1 is equal to a. A squared is a times a. So this is matrix A times matrix A. So A squared, matrix raised to the power of 3, matrix A cubed, I should say, is matrix A times by matrix A times by matrix A, etc., etc., etc. Now, the biggest mistake that students make is that they think, well, A squared, I'm just going to square all of the numbers in there, and that's how I'm going to do it. No. You must multiply the matrices together. Okay? You do not find the square by just squaring each of the individual elements within. You have to multiply those matrices together. So A squared, that matrix A squared, is equal to matrix A times by matrix A. Let's work through this example I've got here. So I've got matrix G is equal to 2, negative 3, 5, 6. What is G squared? Okay, so G squared is matrix G times by matrix G. Yep. So I've got to go 2. Oh, I don't quite know what happened there. Let's pause. Sorry, I had a little crash. Okay, so I've got to times 2 times by 2 plus negative 3 times by 5. So 2 times 2 plus negative 3 times by 5. Then it's negative 2 times by negative 3 plus negative 3 times by 6. Okay, so negative 2 times by negative 3 plus negative 3 times by 6. Okay, so for this element here, I've got to do the second row by the first column. So it's 5 times by 2 times by 2 plus 6 times by 5. And you can see for this element here, it's the second row times by the second column. And so when we work that all out, doing it by hand, you can see, okay, that's 2 times 2. Okay, let's get back to it. So that is 4, give myself a bit of space, 4 minus 15. Then 2 times negative 6. Sorry, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus negative 3 times by 6, negative 18. So then that's 10. Oops. 10 plus 30. Then that's negative 15 plus 36. So you can see quite clearly that it's not going to be just 2 squared or negative 3 squared, is it? Because that's what a lot of students were saying. They were saying, well, g squared is going to be equal to 4, 9, 25, 36. And we can see quite patently that's wrong, isn't it? So that's what we can get. Now, getting onto our CAS calculator to figure out what is g cubed, I'll put this one in. And yep, so 2 tab negative 3 tab 5 tab 6, and I am going to assign that or store it, so control variable to get your store, to g. Okay, so now if I go g squared, you can see I get my g squared there. And if I go g to the cubed, there it is there. I get the same result. Oops. If I also to the cubed, you can see I get it all there as well. So g cubed negative 142, 185, negative 111, 6. So what I really want you to remember is that you can't just square or raise all the individual elements by that power. You actually have to multiply the matrices together. Okay? That's what I really need you to remember. So let's look at this one. This is from the 2011 exam 1. This was a question 4. So matrix A is a 3 by 4 matrix. Matrix B is a 3 by 3 matrix. Which one of the following matrices is defined? The means can be worked out. Okay, well, let's look at these. This says B times A squared. Now, A is not a square matrix, so it can't be squared, can't be A. Okay, B times A. Can we do B times A? Well, that's 3 times 3 times by 3 by 4. Yes, that can happen. So, yes, that's right. Let's double check. We can't do C, can we? Because we'd end up with a 3 by 3. Sorry, a 3 by 4. And 2B is still a 3 by 3. And they're not the same size. They're not the same order, so we can't do that. B squared we can do because B is a square matrix, but AB, can we do AB? 3 by 4 times by 3 by 3. No, we can't because they don't match. Can't do D. And A is not a square matrix, so we can't find its inverse. So it is B. 57% of the state answered correctly, answered B, and 17% of the state answered A.